Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Journeyman series here on Football Coach College Dynasty. It is episode 39 and an exciting one for you all today, where we will be finishing the 2036 season, our first season at Alabama. Currently, we sit at 8-1 with the number one defense in the country, at least by talent. And with a very exciting run into the end of the schedule, we face our old home, number 4, Fresno State, followed by number 7, Florida, and then the Iron Bowl against, admittedly, a struggling Auburn team. After that, at the moment, we are going to be one of the teams in the SEC championship game, provided Tennessee lose one singular game. If they don't, then c'est la vie. But we will see how that shakes out. Other teams with 6-1 records in the SEC are Georgia and the aforementioned Florida. But before we get started today, a little bit of housekeeping notes. Currently looking at our player promises for this season. Cesar Dixon has already been given over 50 carries. His player promise is secure. Running back Jackson Conrad is currently playing in 40% of snaps when he was promised 30. And then Mark Core, obviously, we need to win the national championship. We do have a decent amount of drafted player concerns, but we'll get to that in the after the season, similarly with the litany of transfer risks. Before that gets started, though, let us look to number 4, Fresno State, our old home for 8 years. We gave them 2 national championships, and so far this season they are undefeated. However, it must be said they have yet to play another ranked opponent. On their roster is a lot of old friends from seasons past, including wide receiver Camden Gibson, who is continuing his tear through the Mountain West. They do have a new quarterback. They signed transfer QB Kyle Lewis to be their starter this season. So far, he's done very well for himself. 67% completion, 2,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. Not a very mobile quarterback, which is surprising. And again, I will be summarily disappointed that they've played true freshman Caden Lewis in 7 games for a total of 5 snaps when they could have just redshirted him and played Aaron O'Connor instead. C'est la vie. All of our old friends are there at running back. Damon Taylor, Maximus Roybal running around, but they also added transfer running back Maddox Keys from UTEP, who I'm going to be honest, he has great ball skills, but physically he might be one of the worst running backs in a long time. But as I mentioned in the reasons why I should not have left Fresno State is they have one of the best front sevens in the game. A litany of mid-80s, 90s D linemen and a linebacker room that I am still jealous of with sophomore Marlon Madden leading the way. This is going to be a tough game for us. We are favored, however, by 14 points. But as we've determined, that spread has been a bit silly this season in terms of what games were favored. The other point of secondary importance is that we have 5 recruits visiting. For 3 of them, this visit doesn't matter. Lawrence Mosley, Leo Bull, and Gunnar Keller, they're going to come here either way. We are, however, 870 points behind OSU for running back Harrison Shaw and 1,400 points behind Notre Dame for Francisco Askew. So, depending on how this game goes, we'll certainly catch OSU for Harrison, and Francisco, though, might be a tougher sell. So far in the sim, obviously, we played Alabama in the national championship game 2 years ago, and at that time, I was victorious. So this time around, hopefully, fortune smiles in Alabama's favor. But this is without question going to be one of the most exciting games we play in a long time, facing our old friends. I hope it's not a blowout because I'd like a good game. Tails never fails, except the fact that it failed in 8 of 9 times to start the season. But besides that, it has never failed. We are going to open with a blitz, and they burn us on the slants for 48 yards. That's about as good a start as we could expect here. 3rd and 13, though. And they convert on 3rd and 13. Yep. Them's the breaks. All right. They have to settle for a field goal, which isn't the worst thing in the world. However, a bit disappointing how they got down there. The play action screen even worked. Oh, we're in business. We're cooking with grease, kids. And we're in the end zone off of a play action. Javier Young over the middle for the touchdown. And our defense gets a 3-and-out and a 37-yard punt return for Thomas Chaudhry. We're cooking with grease. And Cesar Dixon runs it in for a touchdown. We're up early, 14-3. All right, the zone not working as we want. Another big pass to Javier Young. We're cooking. The run game is not there. Oh, boy. 4th and 4. I'm going to go for it here. The 49-yard field goal, I imagine, misses. I need to remind myself of Santiago's power. 78, yeah. All right, we're going to go for it on 4th and 4 here. Do a little inside cross. And we get it. 18-yard pass to Roberto Chase. We're cooking with grease as Jackson Conrad this time around runs it in. And at the moment, this game is going toward a blowout. Oh, but they convert the 3rd and 8. Not that one. They punt. All right. So far, so good for the Crimson Tide. Now I just want to burn a little bit more of that clock to not... Oh, boy. Oh, Braden Valentine. Come on, buddy. I recruited you when no one else would, and that's how you repay me? How many sacks have there been? That was the first sack of the game. Jeez. Is our O-line just that good? Because we also start with the ball in the second half. So if I can burn like all of the remaining clock, that would be nice. Take a deep shot. No dice. We will settle for a field goal. Go up by 3 touchdowns. 30-yard pass over the top. Our corners love to get burned deep, don't they? All right, they punt. So, I'm going to be honest. I expected a closer game. Their run game has just had no success. They're averaging 1.4 yards a carry. Been a lot more big plays, but they just can't quite keep up here. All right, we convert to 3rd and 10. That was almost disastrous. The slants work. Thank you, lads. 3rd and 2. Yeah, I'll run it. There we go. Cesar Dixon gets us to the 2, and then in the end zone. I really thought this would be a closer game. I'm a little disappointed. Like, obviously, I'd expected us to win, but I didn't expect backups are going to be in for the entire 4th quarter kind of win. But that is what it is. Aaron Middleton getting involved in the run game. Jackson Conrad, 40-yard rush. What has happened to the Fresno State that I love? What has happened? Good news is I know this won't get the coach fired. That's nice. Elvis de Santiago comes in off the bench, runs it in for a touchdown. All right, the backups are now in on defense, which is a little concerning. Never mind. They get the stop. All right, Jesse Funk in at quarterback, who I'm trying to give an extended look to, since there is a chance he's our starting QB next season. And he rattles off a 41-yard touchdown pass to Julio Khalil. That works. Oh, no. Oh, Damon Taylor fumbled and we returned it for a touchdown. Oh no, guys, I expected this to be so close. Not many things like truly surprised me in this game. Send to the house. All right. Well, Maximus Roybaugh got his touchdown. Not many things surprised me in this game. Um, Nathan Locke, or not? Was it Nathan Locke? Yeah, Nathan Locke missing the 25-yard field goal in the national championship. That surprised me. 52-10 is stunning. I left the. It's fine. We put up 500 yards of offense on that defense. Goodness gracious. Sawyer Cox goes 20 of 25, 255 yards, and a touchdown. Jesse Funk with three carries, 3 out of 4, 73 and a touchdown. Great day for Jackson Conrad for 100 yards and a touchdown. Good for him. Javier Young was targeted 3 times on that opening drive and then never targeted again. That's fine. No sacks from our defense, but that's not all that surprising given the quality of the Fresno State line. But yeah, we crushed them. All right. We beat our old friend Fresno State by 42. Didn't expect that. Because it was only 2 years ago that we beat them. And so that is surprising. Because I get an achievement perfect pitch, earns 2,000 points. So safe to say the recruiting visits went well. All right, Maxwell Winters is back. That immediately helps our linebacking core. I believe I want him under Silva. So that means Guadalupe Hale is going to keep complaining about playing time, but when he played, he did pretty good. All right. So we do have a couple new recruit commits here. 5-star JUCO Leo Ball, who is the #1 JUCO player in the country. He's here for one reason and one reason only. He has 97 strength. He's got B plus potential, which for a JUCO is pretty dang good. We need that tackling or block shed to get better, but other than that, I mean, 97 strength, that'll play. We also get offensive lineman Gunnar Keller, who I'm not insanely excited about. He's definitely got a red shirt, that goes without saying, but his pass block is only a 60, which is low. So we're going to need that to get pretty big boosts from him. B potential, hopefully that ticks up a little bit. Not the most exciting like O-line prospect. We have another O-line recruit in this target list that I'm infinitely more excited about. So let me check the visits. Oh my, we got 2,000 points for Leo Ball, 1,700 for Mosley, 1,700 for Keller, 1,900 for Harrison, and similarly for Francisco. That puts us ahead on both. But obviously, OSU is next. I need Penn State to win that game so badly. So badly. And I've talked about this before. Harrison Shaw isn't, the best running back prospect ever, but he's already pretty well balanced to the point where I don't care much about that C plus potential. But it is there. Francisco, why couldn't you have just committed like right then and there in our visit? So I think I might offer some money to Harrison, depending on how OSU's recruiting visit goes. I am a little nervous. Again, I am 7 and 8,000 points ahead on all these recruits. Why have they not committed? Narrowing schools. No other school is interested in you for. Literally no. Craziness. The other O line, by the way, is Dylan Reynolds, who already has 90 pass block and 83 strength. He'll play as a true freshman if we do get him on our team. So, good news is we beat Fresno State. Bad news is Tennessee won their game. They have Kentucky and Vandy. So there is, to be fair, a non-zero chance that we go 11-1 and don't make the SEC championship game. Although, and for the top two division winners will play. So, I mean, there is a chance it's Bama and Tennessee in the SEC championship game. Because if we beat Florida, that knocks them off. And Georgia also plays. So that's what we need. We need to beat Florida this week, and then we need Florida to beat Georgia in the last week. Then it's us and Tennessee. That's the move. But let's talk Florida first. So Florida 8-2, 6-1 in conference. Their only losses to number 4 Notre Dame, and then randomly got blown out by the average Oklahoma team. An easy SEC schedule this is. The only ranked SEC teams have had to play is Texas A&M and Tennessee. You insult me, Florida. And that's the number 7 strength of schedule? What the heck am I? 4. Really? You're saying mine's only a little bit better than theirs? I object. Anyway, all right, let's look at Florida. Well, they can certainly run the ball. They're number 2 in the country in rush yards per game, rush yards per attempt. I hear that's pretty good. They force a lot of turnovers. They're not huge on big plays. Defensively, I mean, they're not good against the pass at all, especially by SEC standards. So this could turn ugly if we get out to the races. Stanley Shorter at QB. That's rough. So he's a JUCO guy who is a backup at Louisville. They pay him $2 million, and he returns half of it. But imagine being Louisville and you pay $1 million to a QB that appears in 2 games and throws 94 passes with terrible stats. It's actually kind of sad. Ooh, he has a cannon and he can run. All right. It's kind of a fun quarterback they got there. Running game, yeah, they have Antonio still running around. He's going to get like 1,200 yards this season. All right. So in that case, we're definitely going to work on our passing, and I think stopping their run game, since that's what I fear more on Florida's side of things. We're projecting them by 14.5. How did we lose to Tennessee? We have 3 recruits visiting. The only one really that matters is corner Daniel Payne, the number 1 recruit in the country. My hope was that Florida would be able to get in the top 5 of the rankings so that I would get a top 5 matchup boost, but no dice. So far in the sim, Bama has beaten Florida every time except one in the 2031 playoff semifinal. So let's rock and roll. I think if we win this game, we have a decent chance of making the SEC championship game. If we lose it, that hope is just gone. And they're letting us start with the ball. How nice of them as we rattle off a 16-yard pass to open. And then we stumble. Very sad. The safety blitz worked, and they get 13 yards when they need 12. Such is the way of things. Read option on 3rd and 1? Maybe not. Triple option, though. I will shamelessly run the triple option until the end of time as a Jaden Page arrives on the scene. See if we can just run it in, and we do. Cesar Dixon gets us in the end zone. We draw first blood, and our defense gets a stop. Thank you, lads. And we stumble too. The halfback stretch is killing me. Mitchell Grace forces the fumble. Sean Ballard recovers. Look at Sean Ballard, despite being the lowest of our starting defensive linemen, still putting in work. No dice. All right. Well, settling for a field goal there is a bit awkward. But points are points. Hashtag analysis. They got the 3rd and 9 and the 3rd and 6. But we keep them out of the end zone. Great stand from our defense there. It was 1st and goal at the 3. Incomplete pass, 2-yard run, -1-yard run. Very nice there, fellas. I'm switching down to normal clock. Actually, I lied. I'm going back to 2 clock. Never mind, I'm going back to normal after we converted. All right. Man, we're not having great success on 1st down. We convert the 3rd down, though. That's good. Let me switch to up tempo. Get the conversion. Thank you. No, that sack hurts because that takes us out of field goal range also. And another sack? Come on, guys. Oy, all right, well, Florida stopped us there. Why would I do cover 4 quarters in this situation when they are running the football and throwing it short? Explain that to me, please, humble AI. All right, Florida starts with the ball with a chance to equalize. And we get a sack. Terry Dingle, thank you, sir. That is our first sack of the game on them. Sawyer Cox, by the way, not having a good game. It must be said. Get some good work there on the short passes. 3rd and 1, let's just run it. I mean, I'm going for it. I know we're on the wrong side of the 50, but we got to take our chances. And Cesar gets us 13. Thank you, sir. There we go. David Sheffield gets us 26 yards to the 4-yard line. Dixon runs it in. Cool. Okay. Now we can all kind of exhale. We have some breathing room. Can we get a 3 now? As I accidentally clicked soft zone. And we get the stop. They did curl flats against a safety blitz. That could have been disastrous for us if one of their wide receivers beats our guy on the curl. That could have been actually horrible. What do I want to do here? Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. I think part of me says we just turn into like a running team here, especially with Sawyer not doing all that hot. Never mind, we went backwards. That's an omen. We convert. Well done. Yeah, that really is our Achilles heels. Our run game ain't great. As Dixon goes backwards. Thank you. 1st-and-goal at the 4. Jaden Page with the touchdown. That puts us up 21. And the way our defense has been playing, I think we'll be okay as Terry Dingle gets another sack. We convert to 3rd-and-9. Good job, lads. Now we're just going to run the ball a bit. Hit him with the option. It didn't work. We get the conversion. All right, the backups are now in. Can't get the 3rd down. All right, that should do it. Very nice win over Florida. Will they get points for pride? No. So they failed to convert on 4th down. Aaron Middleton gets a nice 18-yard run to end it. Good for him. Let's let Jesse take some deep shots for the heck of it. Just full send it. All right. Didn't work. Okay. Well, we destroy Florida 27-3, even when our passing game was not at all at its best. But I think Sawyer kind of turned it around there. Ended up having good numbers. 287 yards, got the touchdown. Cesar Dixon had 2 touchdowns. Conrad, not a good game for him. But yeah, I mean that's our defense just doing what they need to do there. Santiago made both of his field goals. That's always a nice bonus. And hey, we stopped Antonio Villas. He had less than 3 yards a carry. We advance. Now the question is, did one of Tennessee or Georgia lose? That would be nice, you know? That'd be fun. I would not complain to that. Because at that point, it's essentially an auto bid into the championship game. All right, Curtis Jameson is back to being fully healthy. And yeah, I'm moving back to 3. All right, rankings. Yeah, Tennessee beat Kentucky. Georgia lost. Georgia lost to Auburn. Okay, so that means that means we're in the SEC championship game. Although top 2 division winners. So no, I guess if we win, if Tennessee wins, then they're in over us. Because top 2 division winners. And so even though, like, let's say if we win and these guys, even if we have a better conference record than both Florida and Georgia, we still don't make it because Tennessee's above us. Now I know how San Diego State felt for 8 years with good old Fresno there. All right, we have 1 commit, and it is our potential future quarterback, Anthony Burks, 82 overall JUCO guy. His potential is bad. Let's get that out of the way. It's a C minus. However, his arm strength and accuracy are already an 88. So even if those barely move, he's still a solid top QB in the SEC. The IQ of an 83, I'd like to get up a little bit, but his potential is a C minus. I'm not holding out insane hope. It's going to be between him and Jesse Funk for the QB job next year, but we'll see how that goes. And OSU beat Penn State, and they got 1,100 points in the visit. So they're ahead on Harrison by 351. So to make that up in money, I'd have to offer about $700,000. I think he's worth $1 million. So I'm going to offer him $1 million because, I mean, the state of my running back room is such that, I mean, Gage Jacinto may very well walk. Aaron Middleton, I think, is okay, but not long-term variance at starter. If I can get Harrison Chotton and redshirt him, then I will have insane flexibility at the running back position. He does want to be a star, but hopefully he understands that his overall is going to be insanely low. But I think bringing him in does essentially fix our running back succession. I am 9,000 points ahead for Lawrence Mosley. What will it take, sir? Okay. As discussed, whether or not we play in the SEC championship game, who knows? If Tennessee loses, well, if Tennessee wins, I believe it's a moot point, regardless of what happens in our game. I am curious to see if we have a better conference record than both Florida and Georgia by the end of this. Like, do we get in? Who knows? We'll find out. But first, Alabama's favorite opponent, the Auburn Tigers, are facing us opposite. They have not had a great season. They not doing too hot against the SEC. They lost to Texas, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vandy, but they have won 4 of their last 5, including just beating Georgia by 1 singular point. Credit to them on that. But looking at their summary, I mean, their defense is horrendous. The schedule kind of tells us that already. They're not a bad passing team. They've got decent talent, but I mean, look at this. Like they just gotten shredded. How have they done record-wise in the save? Yeah, they haven't been great. They've made the playoffs twice. Made the quarterfinal last year. Who'd they lose to last year in the quarterfinal? OSU. Okay. Because I didn't remember playing them as Fresno State. So I think that being the case, I think let's work on our run game. Hasn't done too hot last week, especially with Conrad and stopping their passing game. So, if we win this game, we have a chance of the SEC championship. If we lose, up in smoke no matter what. We're projected to win by 24 points. Auburn has 8 recruits visiting, including 5-star linebacker Hudson Dalton, who I am very eager to get in the door. So far in the save, I'm going to be honest, Auburn fans, it has not been good. They've only won once, and that was in 2032 when Bama was having their worst year ever in terms of rankings. So, not a great time. This save has not been kind to Auburn fans. But it is tails. We will begin on defense. It is light rain with 17-mile-an-hour wind, which ain't nothing. So field goal kicking might be a bit up in smoke here. Our defense gets a 3-and-out. We're awesome. Immediately sacked. We're doing great. The pass game is on point. I think this might be a game where I go a little more run heavy just to see how our guys do in a situation where, we have to run the ball a lot. We settle for a 27-yard field goal. Uh-oh. 3rd and 2. They are pretty spread out, but I'm going to send a blitzer all the same. Good call. They're going for it on 4th and 3. I love when the AI gets aggressive like this. They fail to convert, though. And Jaden Page with a 48-yard run off of the jet sweep. Sawyer Cox sneaks it in. We're up 10-0. Pretty good opening as far as things are considered. Bubble screen? Even the bubble screen worked. Not that time. Should have quit when I was ahead. Wow, they got 0 yards when I did too deep. Oh boy. Our run game has failed us. Oh no, they muffed the punt. Kale Garcia muffs the punt. You hate to see it. Let it fly. Javier Young touchdown. All right, we're up 17-0. So presumably, this game is locked in. Terry Dingle gets the sack. We're just going to run the ball a bit here. So let's switch to normal. I lied. Let's switch to up tempo. Oh, I didn't expect to have that much success passing the ball in the last 30 seconds. But here we are. Cue clock. Take a timeout. And Sawyer Cox with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Look at this running stat line. 5 carries, 10 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, boy. All right. Up 24-0 at half. It's just been complete and total domination. They're only averaging 2.6 yards a pass. Need I say more? 73-yard pass to Roberto Chase. Thank you. Good night as Cesar Dixon runs it in. 31-0. And they punt again. My God. Remember when I said I was going to run the ball? I should get back to that. Punt. Oh, and they go backwards. Poor Auburn. At some point, you gotta feel bad for them. Has that point arrived? No. But at some point, you have to. They sacked me. How rude. Good conversion there, and Elvis de Santiago runs it in. 38-0. Will we get to 50? That was a bold call by me to do an all-out blitz on 3rd and 5. Wow. Just the art on this. They got like, 4 yards every time and just slowly ran down the field and had to settle for a field goal. How's an 8:35 drive? Wow. I mean, hey, credit to them for putting a drive like that together, but man, just dink, 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 and we punt again. Well, I think we should give Auburn props. They at least beat our backups. But we beat Auburn 38-3, complete and total domination. Very good game from Sawyer Cox, though he didn't have to throw it that much. Conrad did good. Obviously, Page had that great run. Overall, really happy with how that went. 2 sacks from our defense. We get out sacked almost every game. It is quite sad. All right, time to advance the week. If Tennessee loses, we're in the SEC championship game. And then Florida, Georgia, who knows how that shakes out. So let's see if we made the SEC championship game in year one at Alabama. We did not. We do not make the SEC championship. Imagine, imagine for a moment, if you please, going 11-1, being the number one ranked team in the country, and you don't make your conference championship. Florida makes it then at 9-3. Yeah, Florida made it at 9-3. I really should change it to just 2 best records and have tiebreakers go to head to head. Man, that's disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. And I have no one. I mean, listen, if we beat Tennessee, it doesn't matter. But we lost to Tennessee, so despite going 11-1, being the best team in the country, we do not make the SEC championship game. That kind of hurts. We have 2 players commit. Michael Bonner, linebacker, get in the building. Good depth guy. I need the athleticism to go up, but he's already not the worst. And then Francisco Askew does commit. Looks like we didn't really need to offer the 750,000, but is what it is. He is a speed demon. Ideally, I redshirt him his first year to help get his route running up a little bit. It's only a 65 right now, but I think he's sneakily a guy that could become a wide receiver 1 for us in a couple years just by merit of his speed alone. So now that they've committed, I am down to 8 recruits on my target list. OSU also offered more money. So right now we're only ahead by 55 points. I don't really want to offer more than $1 million. So I think right now I'll just stay steady. I will forever be annoyed the fact that I am 8,000 points ahead on these 4 players, and they're not even close to committing. That to me is just a bit silly. But that is what it is. Rasmussen is hurt, but I mean, we're not playing in the conference championship game, so it does not matter. Any new commits? 1 commit. Offensive lineman Eric Payne signs. Let's be frank. He's a high potential, bad ratings guy that, you take a shot on him. He's a 5-star prospect. I don't know how he's 5 stars, but he is. So, helps the recruiting rankings. He could turn into something good. Who knows? But it is looking like we are going to take some recruits to signing day. Also, did OSU offer money again, or is that just their base pitch? That's their base pitch. Okay, so I need to offer, let's do another 500,000 because right now OSU is beating me by about 45 points every week. So that should be enough just to keep us there. I hope if Tennessee doesn't destroy Florida, I'm going to be so annoyed. But first, it is awards week. I think Sawyer Cox should. I don't think he'll win the Heisman, but I bet he's on the list. We don't get the bye. You hate to say Florida won. You useless Tennessee. Imagine going 11-1. Oh boy. We're gonna kill Maryland by 90 points. Imagine going 11-1. Oh, that's funny. All right, so your playoff bye teams are USC, Notre Dame, Florida, and Stanford. 8-9 game, Virginia Tech against Baylor. Maryland gets to face us, Tennessee against OSU, and Michigan against Fresno State. Gonna be honest, I'm a little worried for Fresno State. All right, but that is that. Oh, I'm sorry, this is awards week. Never mind. Another commit, Dylan Reynolds. Yeah, so he's the O-lineman that will probably play as a true freshman. Part of that is helped by the fact that since I'm not losing anyone, I can't really promise guys like Jeffrey Sims or Roy Hicks more playing time. So they're definitely going to walk. And he might insert himself as a good, end of starting rank option. But we'll see. That drops us down to 5 targets remaining. OSU did not offer any more money. So as things stand, we're also getting Harrison Shaw. That'd be very nice. All right, awards week. Let's see what Alabama takes home. I am anticipating a couple awards that I think we should be in the running for. Yoink. Player of the year goes to Jackson Jones. Sawyer Cox, 6. Yeah, I think what hurt Sawyer is the yards, because touchdowns, he has 26, which is second amongst the guys on this list. But yards, I mean, he's so far behind. And, it helps when Notre Dame's top 2. Look at that running game. Jackson Jones, 1,800 yards. Orion Toole, 1,200. Goodness gracious. Defensive player of the year, we wouldn't have anybody on this list. Freshman of the year, Dane Garcia takes it, obviously, the OSU QB. Trevor Lucas, though, our corner, in 4th with 2 tackles for loss, a pick, and 8 pass deflections. Coach of the year does not go to us. Efrain Keller, our former defensive coordinator, is coach of the year of Virginia Tech. That's awesome. The coaching tree is expanding. Good for them. Dayton Smart, by the way, takes SEC coach for getting South Carolina to 8-4, which is fair. All-Americans, 1 first-team all-defense linebacker, Reed Archer, with 41 tackles, 14 tackles for a loss as linebacker, 6 sacks, 9 pressures, a forced fumble, and 5 pass breakups. That'll do. Second team All-American on offense, kicker Santiago Baker, 10 of 12 field goals, 54 extra points. I don't personally get how that's good enough for All-American, but sure. Second team All-American on defense, Santiago Baker at punter with 41 yards per punt. Same statement applies, really. Thomas Chaudhry is only 3rd team with his kick return for a touchdown. Oh, no, it was a punt return. My mistake. He averaged 12.7 yards a return. Hold on. Okay, he got 2 return touchdowns. And let me guess. He got 3. Okay. I rescind my complaint. And then 3rd team defense, Leon Wilkerson, 33 tackles, 2 pressures, 2 picks, 7 pass breakups. All right, overall, nothing too crazy. Let me just look at all the freshman teams. So Aaron Middleton makes it at running back. Guadalupe Hale makes it at linebacker. Trevor Lucas makes it at corner. Second team all freshman, nobody. All right, let's look at the SEC awards. All conference. Sawyer Cox, first team at quarterback. Santiago Baker at kicker. Thomas Chaudhry, return specialist. Defensive first team, Thomas Dingle, Reed Archer, Leon Wilkerson, and Santiago at Hunter. Second team all SEC, Page at wide receiver. Roberto Chase also there. Javier Young makes it at tight end. Only one offensive lineman and Alicia Guy making the list. And then Charlie Porter at defensive line. There's your list. Okay, so obviously disappointing end of the season in that we didn't make the SEC championship game and therefore have to play in the first round. However, we're favored by 20 points. All right. We have 4 players commit. Lawrence Mosley, 5-star defensive line fruit, top 4 overall. He, I assume, is going to play as a true freshman. We have a lot of defensive linemen that are going to be leaving us. He will automatically slide in there and just dominate day one. Trent Butler, 5-star JUCO safety, 3rd best JUCO prospect. Honestly, I could put him at safety. I could put him at corner. I could put him at linebacker, and he probably wouldn't be terrible. At the moment, he's going to be a safety. Him and Rasmussen, I think, are going to be a little nice 1-2 punch there with his tackling ability. Linebacker Hudson Dalton commits. He's just your classic decent tackling, decent IQ guy. He's going to redshirt, but with his potential, he could really become something. And then Daniel Payne getting the building. The number 1 recruit is 5-star cornerback Daniel Payne from Alabama. 104 man coverage already, 97 speed. Need I say more? So that is all 5. That means that last but not least is Harrison Shaw, who I wish would commit soon. Also, shout out to Fresno State for just now offering a scholarship to him when they're 10,000 points behind. Oh, what a silly game this is sometimes. All right. So, in the first round, we find ourselves going up against Maryland. They were 9-3 this year, started 5-0, kind of faded down the stretch. Lost to Southern Miss. Okay, Southern Miss. They beat James Madison in the Sun Belt. All right. Good for them. Anyway, back to Maryland. Then they beat Rutgers to make the playoffs as the 12th seed. Who was 13? Who didn't make it? Yeah, because Southern Miss is down there. So 9-3 Mississippi State and Wisconsin don't make it. 10-3 Oregon also does not make it. Tennessee, you're so annoying. Just saying. Fresno State, by the way, they won the Mountain West again without me. Makes me very sad. All right, Maryland. Ooh, they're number 4 in the country in rush yards and rush yards per game. Pass game, they're not as good. It looks like they throw some bombs. Yep. Defensively, they're bad against the pass, but really good against the run. Fair enough. Let's take a look at that running back room here. Big Ten top running back and second team All-American. Alec Nevis, 116 ball carrier vision. My God. 6.4 yards a carry. Reese Payton behind him also with 90 ball carrier vision, 97 speed. Crazy. This dude would be like, he'd never have to buy a beer in Maryland ever again. And he started off as a 69 overall C+ potential running back that's just exploded. That's awesome. I love things like that. Love it. So in that case, obviously, we're going to try to stop their run and work on our passing game. Think that's the move. We're projected to win by 20 points. Way back in the day, 8 years ago, Bama beat Maryland 31-9 to best them there. Also, oh yeah, no Big Ten team got the bye. Right? No, USC's in the Big Ten. Yeah. Okay. For a second, I was like, did no Big Ten team get a bye? Then I forgot. USC's in there. All right. Maryland calls tails. Very smart of them. Never mind. It's heads. We will defer. Let their offense take the field first. And as is our want, blitz them up the middle. And a 3-and-out to open. Very good. Convert 3rd and 10. That'll do. I think this is definitely going to be a game where we just pass it a bunch. And before I can put a period on the end of that sentence, Sawyer Cox is picked off by Nathan Morrow. Not great. 3rd and 10. They convert. And we get a pick of our own, Jackson Rasmussen, fresh off the injury. Convert the 3rd and 10. That'll do. Convert again. Our run game is just killing us. But Cesar Dixon runs it in for points. Good start. And another interception. This time, Paul Wilcox, the 3rd safety, with the pick. We have a chance to add on to our scoring. We finally get it. It took 3 runs from the 4-yard line, but we got there. So Reed Archer gets the sack. All right. It was looking a little shaky there, but I think we found our groove. We just can't run the ball, can we? What's our running stats right now? 11 carries, 24 yards. Yep. That's about how things are going. Roberto Chase touchdown. All right. Shut it down. Uh-oh. And now safety Mark Carr with the pick. All 3 of our top safeties have now gotten interceptions. It's pretty good. Can our depth safety get a pick next? That's the real question. As they sent me careening backwards off that sack, but we still convert. Thank you, lads. Aaron Middleton running it in. We're up 28-0. What a farce. What a farce that we weren't given a bye. Number 1 team in the country. Thomas. In the playoffs. I mean, we're up 28-0. It's not going to matter. But regardless, in the playoffs, they missed a field goal by Thomas. You muff the only punt you have muffed this season, and it happens in the playoffs. Are the lights too bright, Thomas? I don't want to insinuate anything. Mikey Mike with the touchdown off the curl, 35. I would like to score 50, personally. Just to make a statement as to how silly it is that we have to play in this game. And Alec Neves, this supposed next coming of Barry Sanders at running back, fumbles and we recover. What an embarrassing state of affairs that we're even on the same field as this team. My God. Jesse couldn't even convert. Our defense, our backup defense is crushing this team, okay? That's what I should do for a game. Find like a sub backups button in like the first quarter. Just see how the backups do. Why did I change the cover 4 quarters there? All right, we beat Maryland 35-0. Embarrassing that it was even close. We did have 2 turnovers, one being the pick, the other being the muff punt. But other than that, I think a pretty okay game. They stopped our run very well. which was a little bit concerning. They had some decent success on the run, but I mean, come on. If you throw 3 picks and you have sub 50% pass completion, you're gonna lose. So, good game. Never really in doubt. After that first quarter, there's a little shaky. So we move on. Who will we face in the next round? We face number 6 Stanford as Baylor beat Virginia Tech. Boo. OSU destroyed Tennessee, and Fresno State beat Michigan in overtime. There we go. We love to see it. Also, Tennessee. You play the game of your life against me and then lose the Florida and the SEC championship and then OSU in the first one. You. That disappointment aside, Harrison has still not committed. If he doesn't commit, because let's do some math. I'm what, 45? So 3 more weeks. OSU will catch me if I don't offer any money. Fair enough. All right, Stanford, how you doing? They went 11-2. Their only losses to Washington State and Utah. They beat 3 ranked teams to close and then beat Oregon in the Pac-10 to secure the bye. I might change it to where division winners, instead of getting guaranteed the top 4, you just get guaranteed a playoff spot. I think I like that more than you get a guaranteed bye, but we'll see. Ooh, that is a number 1 in pass yards per attempt in the country. Number 2, oh yeah, so they beat up on the Pac-12. They also scheduled North Carolina in the conference. They're really good at converting third downs. They're second in the country in big plays. Okay. How's their QB? Carson Ahmed, Pac-10 Player of the Year multiple years running. Looks pretty good, and he can run. Ooh, all right. This could potentially, be a close game if this turns into a shootout. We are projected to win by 14 points. This is the first time this save that Bama and Stanford have played each other. I did my recruiting focus, right? I did. I did not do my practice focus. So we're going to work on stopping their run and stopping their pass, excuse me, and our passing game. Let's rock and roll. Tails never fails. It is not. We defer. Well, an opening sack from Trevor Dingle. That'll do. And we get the ball with very nice field position. Never mind, we went backwards. Never mind, Mikey Mike on the deep route for 58 yards. Jackson Conrad in the end zone, 7-0. Match that. I had to tempt fate, didn't I? Never mind, Trace Roberts fumbles. Keenan Manley forces and recovers. They tried an end around. It was unsuccessful. Speaking of unsuccessful, that third down run, I'm going to run the ball on 4th and 2. We don't get it. Cesar gets us a yard. Bad time to blitz. All right, they get the field goal. Not looking great. It must be said, Jackson Conrad, 50-yard rush. We're looking a little better. The slants get us in. Okay. Now we can kind of breathe. We're averaging 9 yards a rush. I doubt that's sustainable, but just let the record show. All right. They punt again. Yeah, jet sweep there was a bad call. They punt. All right. Doing pretty good. And Mikey Mike with a touchdown. Look at this wonderful stat line. 4 catches, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. And a pick 6 from true freshman Trevor Lucas for your Pac-10 QB of the year. And they punt again. I think we'll just run out the clock. No point in overstaying our welcome this half. All right. And we start with the football. This is getting ugly. How did we lose to Tennessee, man? That loss to Tennessee is really up there with some of my most just annoying losses. Sawyer Cox runs it in. We're crushing them. We're crushing them. Terry Dingle with another sack. I think I called him Trevor Dingle at one point, which is a bit awkward. The motion option didn't work. Oi! And Sawyer's picked again. That's back-to-back games he's thrown an interception. Stanford misses the field goal. It's been that kind of game for them. Right, I think let's get back to just running the ball a ton. Burn some clock. 50-yarder. I'll just punt it. Burn him at the 2. We didn't. In fact, burn them at the 2. I'm out here blitzing on 3rd and 8. Just sending it. There we go. I'm not going to go for it on 4th and 1. We're up by 32. Ooh, we burned him at the 2. Let's go. Get a safety. No, we don't get a safety. That's annoying. I wanted it for the stats. We have to punt. And they don't convert. Yoink. And that'll do. All right. We beat Stanford very similarly to how we beat Maryland. 35-3 is your score. They averaged 1.3 yards a rush and 5 yards a pass. Like, our defense is just too good. It's just too good. It really is crazy. Sawyer Cox played a really good game. Pick, obviously, notwithstanding. Conrad got 100 yards and a touchdown, which is good for him. Not a lot of involvement from like our tight ends and running backs in the passing game, but that's fine. All right, we get the win. Let us advance and see who we face in the semifinal. Is it Notre Dame? Is it Fresno State? It is USC. USC beats Baylor. OSU beats Florida. Fresno State beats Notre Dame. Well, that should be fun. Harrison, do you want to commit? May commit soon. Well, buddy, you have literally one last week to do it. So, please commit. Good Lord. Oh, 13-1. Didn't even make it. Whatever. All right, USC. They lost this. They lost their opener to Mississippi State and then ran the table, including beating number 10 Wisconsin, 2 Maryland, 3 Michigan, number 2 OSU in the Big Ten, and they just beat Baylor, who famously in football coach college dynasty, Baylor is OP insane. Like, look at this. They won their conference 7 years in a row. Like, Baylor, just for whatever reason, very overpowered in this game, which it happens. But they beat them. Let's take a look here. Well, they have one of the best offenses in the country in terms of pass yards, points, etc. The run game is good, but they don't get a lot of yards. Yeah, at times they're essentially like how I was at Fresno State. If they got a little more rush yards per game, because they're really prioritizing time of possession. Not a ton of huge plays. Defensively, they're pretty good against the pass, less so against the run. Who is your QB, USC? Carson Lassiter. So close to Carlton Lassiter from Psych. I should edit his name. But he just won QB of the year, first team All American, and blah, 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 blah. 4,600 yards, 31 touchdowns with a completion percentage of 68%. It's pretty good. Hashtag analysis. Wow. That is one of the bigger disparities in passing ratings I have seen in a long time. 122 arm strength, 79 accuracy. He has a cannon. Wow. Well, that'll be fun. I think in that case, we're going to work on our passing and stopping their passing. Okay, so your final four in the playoffs. Number 1 against number 2 USC. Number 7 Fresno State against number 5 Ohio State. In my opinion, it says something about the horrendous decision by the playoff committee to give these 14 byes because 3 of them have lost. Anywho, let's rock and roll. We're favored by 8.5 points. USC and Bama have faced off 5 times in the save, thrice in the national championship, for which Bama is undefeated. However, the most recent time they played, USC took them down. So this should be a fun one. They have a true gunslinger. The highlight reel that this man has must be insane. They're in spread flex. I'm just going to blitz. Didn't work. I also didn't look. Can he run? He can also run a little. Okay. This could get a little dicey. They go backwards on 3rd and 1. They did the bubble screen. They got us. All right, we hold them to a field goal, which, judging by how easy that drive started for them, I'll take that. I can't stress enough how Sawyer only threw 2 interceptions the entire regular, or 3. He threw 3 interceptions the entire regular season. 1 against Notre Dame, 1 against Vandy, 1 against Mizzou. He has since thrown a pick in each playoff game. Oy vey. They failed to convert the 4th and 2, though. I love that the AI went for it there at midfield on 4th and 2. Jackson Conrad, 42-yard run. Thank you, sir. And we get in the end zone, Thomas Chaudhry. We're back. We're in business. But still, that Sawyer Cox interception trend, not a huge fan of that trend, surprisingly. They convert again, and they get in the end zone from Jake Sharma. All right. We are losing for the first time in the playoffs, I believe. I'm going to punt. They're on 4th and 4, and we get them. Okay, blitz. Hit him. Ugh, they convert to 3rd and 6. All right. They don't get that. They punt. Okay. Overall, actually, let me look really quick. Yeah, I mean, they're averaging 6 yards a rush, 5.5 yards a pass, so they're just burning us on the ground. Jackson, why? Why did you go backwards? Thank you, Jaden. And Roberto Chase over the middle, 38-yard touchdown. We're up by 4. All right. That works, but USC is driving. And they get us over the top. All right. Our defense having one of their rare poor performances. We convert to 3rd and 8. Let's see if we can at least get a field goal out of this. A 1 yard scramble isn't really what I had in mind. No dice. All right, let's punt. So, I mean, that's about a bad first half as we've played in a while. I think our passing game has been good. The turnover sucked. Even though they didn't get any points out of it, it's still, one less drive we had. So, and Adrian McNeil. Look at our boy. The sixth wide receiver with a 45-yard touchdown reception off the slants. Okay. USC punts. All right, we're going to become a running team here for a second. Just to burn an unholy amount of clock. Never mind. We tried that. It didn't work. The engage 8 was successful. Thank you, Luis Silva. And they punt again. 3rd and 14. Not great. Suddenly, the defenses have arrived. As it's just been punt, 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 punt. There we go. We finally get the 3rd down conversion. Thank you, lads. We're going to run the ball a bit here. 3rd and 2, I'm going to run it. If I don't get it, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. There we go. Because at that point, I make the field goal. I'm up by 7 with 8:42 left. I would much rather go for it, especially on 4th and 1. As I was about to say, with a chance to go up by double digits. But Sawyer throws an interception at what must have been like the 1 yard line. Oh boy. They're doing empty base. I don't care. Send the house. They don't get it off. Can we get a safety? We do. Ernesto Howell tackles Abram Salem in Salmon in the end zone. We're up by 6 now. That means a field goal makes it 9. That's legitimately huge. I think if we can burn a decent amount of clock here, kick a field goal, we win the game just from time. USC has just burned all of their timeouts, and we get the conversion. That said, I'm still going for the touchdown. There we go. Caesar runs it in. I will, in fact, go for 2. We don't get it. All right. Either way. All right, cover 4 quarters just needs to die. And Keenan Manley gets the interception in the end zone to end it. Thank you. Good night. We beat USC 29-17. A very close game. I mean, their offense just cratered. Like, they scored their 17th point with a minute 12 left in the first half. They did not score again. Like, our defense just locked in that second half. We win 29-17. Sawyer Cox threw 2 picks. Not his best day. Jackson Conrad, though, 112 yards. He was very efficient. Cesar Dixon did not do well, but he got the touchdown. McNeil, with his 1 target, took it 45 yards to the house. Very good showing. Their punter averaged 50 yards a punt. That is insane. But we get the win. We beat USC and we advance to the national championship game. Who do we face but Fresno State? Oh boy. The rematch of teams in the championship game. They defeated Ohio State 30-27 in a classic. What happened at the end of the game, you ask? Very simple. Fresno scored a touchdown in nice 5-minute drive, ran it in for a touchdown. Very good. Very good. Wait a minute. Oh, did they return? They returned the kickoff for the touchdown. That had to have been it. Xavier Bonner returned the kickoff for a touchdown. That would be in like top five college football moments. In the playoff semifinal to win the whole thing, he returned the kickoff to the house. Wow. I'm just staring at that. That's stunning. Imagine being a Fresno State fan. That was insane. Where's the game played? Indy? Oh, it was probably packed with OSU fans too. Oh, that's like a 3 hour drive. They were probably there in the. Oh, boy. Well, okay. Did Harrison commit? Spoiler alert, he did. So we do get Harrison chopped by 67 points head of OSU. I think in an ideal world, Harrison is going to redshirt next year. If he complains about that, so be it. He's a very well rounded wide receiver. I don't love receiving back as an archetype because the AI just doesn't use it well, in my opinion. But pretty well balanced, got decent speed and evasion already. And he becomes something good. That also means we have secured every one of our recruit commitments. We have no one else waiting. We can go into the transfer period with all of our NIL money. All of that is sorted. You love to see it. Now, hello, my old friends. Fresno State, their only loss so far this season was to us. They then took it out on San Diego State and UNLV. They beat Air Force in the Mountain West Championship game. They played a classic in OT against Michigan. They beat Notre Dame by double digits. They just beat OSU in what was the game of the century, evidently. Their defense, it looks like, is still as good as advertised. Let's look at their numbers again. All right, let's dive in. Number one in the country in pass yards per game. That's or pass yards per attempt. Pretty good. They don't have a lot of drives. They're the third. They're the fourth worst team in the country in sacks. War never changes, but so does Fresno State's ability to just fail at sacks. Third in the country in third down. What are we in third down conversion? We're two. Wow, I didn't even notice. Okay. Pretty good. I mean, listen, we played Bama, in the season and beat them by, or excuse me, we played Fresno State in the regular season and beat them by 42 points. However, this is the Natty, and Fresno State just won on a last second kickoff return. If you think I'm going to count this as an easy win, no. Oh boy. All right. So I forget what focuses I did last time around. We are definitely going to work on passing, especially with just their QB being overall pretty good specimen. And then our downfield passing game so that Sawyer doesn't throw another interception in the national title game. That would be upsetting. The game is being played in LA, so you can imagine the fans traveling. This is the second meeting between the teams. And in the national championship, this does continue the trend where, with the exception of 2 years, either Fresno State or Bama have been in the Natty every year, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But here we go. National championship game. My record so far in national championship games is 2-1, with the only loss famously coming against Notre Dame when Nathan Locke missed a 25-yard field goal with a minute 30 left in the game. So here's hoping this goes better. Fresno State calls tails. Tails it is. And they elect to receive. Have they learned nothing? The back-to-back engage eights there was a little bold. Man, they missed the field goal. Did they pass it a single time? Oh, they passed it twice. I'm oblivious. I thought they just ran it the whole time. So, Nathan Locke missing a field goal in the national championship game? No. That would never happen. I don't think anything has soured me on a player so much than Nathan Locke missing that. But who cares? We're in the end zone. It took a little bit of running at the end. Ooh. Xavier Bonner, 40-yard kickoff return. I wonder, did he won Mountain West returner? Surely he did. How do you do? 28 yards of kickoff return, 17 yards a punt return? Okay. Okay, Xavier. I see you. We convert the 3rd and 6. We're cooking with grease. And the 3rd and 5. Let it fly. We're going to burn them over the top. It's going to be great. You know, my thought process when calling the wide corner pass was that he would throw it to literally anyone other than the running back out of the backfield, that if he gets tackled, it's going to be a loss of yardage. Oh, boy. And redemption hour for Sawyer Cox. 39-yard touchdown on 3rd and 7. We're up 14-0. Reed Archer with the sack. All right. Let's burn some serious clock here. To do that, though, you have to have a successful run game. And as established, we don't really. We just pass the ball a ton and then hope. Pretty much just where we're at as a society. Cesar Dixon runs it in. We are up 21-0. And our defense with another stop. All right, I'm going to turn chew clock off. See if we can get in the end zone. Looking like we can. We'll try a screen. And the screen works. Adrian McNeil touchdown. Okay. Okay. I will call timeout just in case we get a punt return for a touchdown. We do not. We are up 28-0 at half. We are averaging a first down every time we pass the ball. We are 6 of 6 on 3rd down. If we end up losing this game, it will be the greatest collapse in the history of college football. Motion option. The motion option worked. We're undefeatable. We are gods. We're at the 1. We are no longer at the 1. But Tony Allison, the 3rd tight end, with the touchdown. We're stunting on him. All right, we convert that time. Let's run the ball a bit. I mean, credit to them. They've consistently killed our run game, but we're just getting them in the air every time. Like so. How long was that drive? 7:10. Uh-oh. Fresno State's on the board with 7. That said, it was also against our backups. But still. Oh, wow. All right, they're up to 10. Yeah, they're having a lot of success against my backup defense, which, to be fair, should be kind of expected, I think. Throw a deep pass from the 10-yard line. Might not have been my smartest move. Uh-oh. That'll do it. Alabama national champions once again. In the first year we are back to hoisting that trophy. I think, obviously, I would have liked a better game, but decisive victory. They only threw it 13 times. They killed us on the run. Damon Taylor over here just running amok. Conversely, I mean, I think Conrad did okay. Cesar had the 3 touchdowns, but he couldn't get going. Sawyer Cox, 25 of 30, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns. Big bounce back game from him. Roberto Chase gets 100 yards and a touchdown. Adrian McNeil, who had, let's see, yeah, in the playoffs, insane stats. Regular season, he didn't do anything. Look good on him. Also, Sawyer Cox was never sacked, whereas we got 5 sacks, including Terry Dingle, who, if he doesn't go for the draft, is going to have insane numbers next year. Absolutely insane. But that is that. We are champions once again. A shame it had to come at the expense of Fresno State. That part makes me weep. But we have won the title. 15-1. We didn't even get the bye. That's going to be what's crazy to me. Didn't even get the bye. But we go 15-1. Our only loss the whole season, a regular season matchup to Tennessee. Credit to them for beating us. We finish with the 6th best offense, number 1 best defense in terms of talent, 3rd in points per game, number 1 in opposing points per game, 11th in yards, but 1st in opposing yardage. We have exceeded the 80 expectations. The opinion goes up to a 75. We kept all 3 of our promises, plus 9 integrity. In other words, we got back all the integrity I lost last year from revoking all of the offers to the recruits that Alabama had paid money to. So that is done. Let's look at coaching updates now. We are obviously saying, do I want to swap any skill badges? I think I want to get rid of cerebral skill players. +2 ball carry vision for my running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. And then +2 IQ for QB isn't that great. I kind of almost want to give all skill players a +1 boot. Ooh, no. All O linemen get +2 pass block. I think so. Because that was an issue this season with a lot of sacks. So I think that boost helps us a little. Offensive coordinator Damian Ford. He does not level up. He does have an upgrade point available. Let's boost his offense. And defensive coordinator Kyler Cruz. No changes. He's an older guy, so he even lost. IXP, that's just rude. Anyone want to poach? Anyone want to poach my players, or my coordinators, rather? Let's find out. Yeah, obviously I'm staying at Bama. Look at this. You're telling me I win. The fact that not every school in the country is just please, would be insane. No one wants Damian Ford. He stays. And no one wants Kyler Cruz. He also stays. The fact that no one has gone after Kyler Cruz is legitimately insane to me. He's only been my DC for 2 years, but we've been number 1 in opposing points per game each year. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. All right, let's do a quick recap of the coaching tree. So, Frank Keller in year 4 at Virginia Tech, 11-3 record, takes him to the playoffs and gets a National Coach of the Year award. Insane credit to him. I'm so glad he got the new contract at Virginia Tech. That's awesome. Caleb Monroe, in his first year at Fresno State head coach, 15-2 record. They win the Mountain West again, and they takes them all the way to the national title game. Great season one for Caleb. Oscar Stahl in his, this involves a lot of math, ninth season at Kent State, 8-5. So the worst record he's had in a while. Who'd they schedule out of conference? Number 9, Stanford, they made the playoff. Number 19, Baylor, they made the playoff. And then a bad loss to Bowling Green. Bad loss to Nevada. Yeah, those are the two games you can't really lose. They only lost to Baylor by 7. Then they lost to FIU in the bowl. Yeah, bad season for them. Missed the AD expectation, but I mean, come on. When your opinion's already a 90, that's going to be fine. Chase Rodriguez in his 6th season at North Texas. They went 5-7, exceeded expectation. He's all the way up to 90 opinion. So it's looking like Rodriguez is going to be at North Texas for as long as he wants, which is really good. And then finally, Christian Piai in his 2nd year at A&M, 8-5 record, took him to a bowl game, which they lost. But still, I mean, that's solid for A&M. So, I mean, my coaching tree, we're doing pretty good. Doing pretty solid. All I'm saying, really the only blip is Christian Rodriguez, and like, he's doing average a couple times. He's doing fine. So, I think we're still going to stay as a pass first team. Even if, Conrad and Cesar get an insane boost in development, it's not going to match our wide receiver room. So I think we're going to stay pass first there. League coaching changes. Anything in the SEC? Florida lost their offensive coordinator. Ole Miss has a new head coach. Yeah, looks like that is it. Retirements down below. Okay. About an hour and a half into the video, let's do the players leaving for the draft. Firstly, who can I oh God. Okay, so Javier Young is gone. That it's not, I mean, it's bad in the sense that he was probably one of, if not the best tight end I've ever had, and he played really, really well. But our tight end room is good enough where it's kind of okay. So we lose Javier Young, 2nd team All-SEC this year, 555 yards off of 46 catches and 2 touchdowns. Now, everyone else I can convince to stay. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Alicia Guy needs to stay. He is going to be an insane offensive lineman. I might just promise everyone money. Make All-American. I think I make that promise. I think right now I'm going to promise him All-American. It's 10 integrity, which is huge. Jesus Frazier, the corner, who has done pretty well, but hold on. Are any other corners threatening to go to the draft? No. How many corners am I losing to graduation? 3. Okay. Make All-American or pay $1.6 million. I'm a little afraid to offer a corner All-American. I think him right now I'll come back to. Maxwell Winters, linebacker, had a bad year this year. He was just unfortunately further down the depth chart than he was used to. He also suffered a 6-week injury, which that doesn't help. Are all these just going to be make All-American? Or money? Okay, him I'll come back to. Jackson Rasmussen. We're losing Mark, but I am bringing in a pretty good JUCO safety. However, Rasmussen just had his best year ever with me, and he's going to be really solid. Instead of offering money, I'm going to say we win the division. That's what I'm going to say to him. Terry Dingle, I need to keep. I need to keep him. He had 27 tackles for loss, double-digit sacks, 41 pressures. He needs to stay. What's he want? Win the conference championship or pay money. Win the SEC championship. Okay, Luis Silva, Mitchell Grace, or Maxwell Winters. So I think I'm losing Reed Archer to the draft. What's that linebacker room look like? So this is my linebacker room if all of these guys go. I still have Fabian Boone and Chandler Gordon, who did really well. Guadalupe Hale is threatening to transfer. Neither of the linebackers coming in, I think, are really ready. So I'd like to keep one, maybe two of my 3 draft guys. So Luis Silva, pretty good year this past year. 9 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Bad in coverage. Mitchell Grace is our coverage guy, but also he allowed 64%, 20 tackles. Hmm. Win the division. Win the division. Make All-American. 1.6, 1.6, 1.6. Okay. So I haven't paid any of these guys money yet to stay. I think it's between Winters and Silva. I'm going to let Mitchell Grace go for the draft, I think. I mean, the only thing holding me back from Winters is that he has been injured in back-to-back years. But when he's healthy, he's kind of rock solid. Silva, I guess, is also had a major injury. If I keep them both, then they're 1 and 2. Fabian Boone is 3. Gordon is 4. I keep Guadalupe, that's 5. Honestly, yes. I'll do that. Silva, I will promise we win the division because I already have that promise to Rasmussen. Winters, I will pay 1.6 million. So, in summation, Javier Young gone to the draft. Mitchell Grace gone to the draft. Jesus Frazier. What's my corner room look like right now? I still got Trevor Lucas. Tony Milton might threaten to transfer, but Daniel Payne's coming in. I don't think Christopher Bonds or Damian Wade are really ready. So it's a question of, do I bring Jesus Frazier back or do I go for a transfer? I think at that point I want to bring him back, so I'll pay him money. All right. So we're losing $3.2 million to keep Frazier and Winters. And then we're promising Rasmussen and Silva we win the division. We promise Dingle we win the SEC championship game. And Elisha gets the All-American promise. And so we let Mitchell Grace go to the draft, I think, in lieu of paying him money. Yeah, I think that's the correct call. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't hate to keeping Grace, but at the end of the day, some of these guys have to play more snaps or else they're going to want to leave. And this is a good opportunity to let them go. So, all right, that's what we're doing in terms of the draft. Let us look at graduating players. First things first, quarterback Sawyer Cox, who's a JUCO guy. This year for me, 36 touchdowns, 4,200 yards, threw 7 picks, but also got 4 rushing touchdowns, a nice SEC Player of the Year, SEC QB of the Year, and a trophy to hang in his cabinet. Very good quarterback. Thank you, sir. Not losing any running backs. Wide receiver. We must salute Thomas Chaudhry, who played very well. All-American, all-conference, 10 touchdowns, 2,600 total yards at Bama, 1 punt return for a touchdown. He was our returner. Did very, very well this past year. Jaden Page, 3-time all-conference, 2,800 yards, 22 touchdowns in his career. And then Roberto Chase, 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns. Not as much production as the other men. Kind of was like a backup dude for a couple years, but really exploded this year. Happy I could get him on the All SEC. Tight ends, no tight ends are graduating. Offensive line, 0 offensive linemen are graduating, which is an insane statement. Kickers, we are losing our starting kicker, Santiago Baker, who in 1 year for us, 11 of 13 on field goals, 73 out of 73 extra points, and averaged 41 yards a punt. We do have a succession plan at kicker, but Santiago did a pretty good job. Defensive line. This is the position that hurts, and that's why we certainly need to keep Terry Dingle around. Charlie Porter leaves us 224 tackles in his career at Bama, 53 tackles for loss, 12 sacks, 32 pressures. All-American team, 2-time All-Conference. Ernesto Howell, 168 tackles, 42 for loss, 6 sacks, 22 pressures, 2 forced fumbles. Curtis Jamerson, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players on the team this year. Suffered a seasoning injury last year, came back, still put up respectable numbers, double-digit tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 20 pressures. Solid, dependable defensive lineman who just so happened to be in a room with guys that are just a lot better. Diego Kidd also leaves us 32 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. I was happy that his best season can be his last. Linebacker, we're losing Reed Archer. We must salute. 191 tackles overall, 36 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks, 20 pass breakups, All-American, All-Conference linebacker. We will never know his kind again. Corner, we're losing our top 3 lads. We're losing Leon Wilkerson, All-American, All-Conference, 4 picks. We're losing Keenan Manley, 4 picks, including playoff interceptions, and Caden Carey with his 13 pass breakups and a pick as well. And that brings us to literally the second highest overall player in the game. Mark Carr is graduating. 2-time All-American, 2-time All-Conference, 90 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 8 interceptions throughout his career at Bama. Very, very solid safety. Didn't put up the best numbers his senior year, but overall, no complaints. We salute these men and advance to transfers. The frames. I think last I checked, it was 15 names wanted to transfer. I don't know if like winning the national title or having success moves those numbers. 17, oh boy. Hey, boy. Well, that's a lot of names. 5 wide receivers amongst them. Craziness. All right, so currently we're sitting at 60 scholarship players. This again operates under the assumption that all 17 of these men will transfer. That brings us to 25 transfer players that we're going to need to bring in, which is an insane number. I am going to spend a little bit of time off stream sort of organizing these 17 guys. Who do I want to promise more playing time? Who do I want to let go? And then, I mean, transfer portal is going to be kind of crazy. Right now, we're sitting at 18 million. That's before any other offers to these guys with 25 scholarships. That is an insane amount that are open. So we'll try to trim the list down, get that taken care of. But thank you all for watching. A wonderful end to the season. with a national championship run full of great twists and turns. Maybe not so for us, admittedly. I think outside of the USC game, blowouts the whole time. But we won it all. We add a trophy to our case. We are now 3-1 in national title games and 15-5 overall in the playoffs. So thank you all for watching this Friday episode. We'll be back next week with the transfer portal, off-season, preseason, and getting our squad ready to defend our title in year 2. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.